So the real Wolf of Wall Street, I presume?
Yes, I am the real wolf, although I'm a kinder, gentler version of the guy that's on the silver screen for sure, and certainly a more ethical version, but that is me.
Let's start with this straight line persuasion tactic that DiCaprio's character uses to turn these no-name, no-talent guys on Wall Street into the hottest brokers. Was that really how it went down?
Well, yes, it's true. The straight line system was something I created that allowed me to take these talentless dimwits, you could call them, and turn them into a world-class salespeople. But in the movie, the only liberty is that they collapse time. They make it seem like, one day I pick up a script and I'm like, with this script, I'm going to turn you guys into the best salesman on earth. And it didn't quite go down there. What happened was I stumbled upon this untapped niche in the stock market, which was selling $5 stocks to the richest 1% of Americans, very sophisticated business owners. And I had tried it myself and was doing it with with little ease. It was very easy for me to do. My junior partner, okay, great sales guy, I trained him. He was able to do it as well. But the 12 talentless, no-name guys, when I tried to teach them to do it, they just simply could not do it. They could not close rich people. And that created a dilemma for me because I knew I'd had this huge market niche, but if I couldn't get the guys to close the sale, what was it really worth? So for about a month or so, I tried every possible sales training tactic known to man. And I was about 25 years old at the time, and I was already considered to be one of the top sales trainers on Wall Street. I gave great meetings. I'd read every book. I was a student of the game, and I tried everything possible, from teaching them answers to all the objections to, how to raise your voice, lower your voice, all this different stuff, but they couldn't close rich people. And then one day, after about a month of failing at it, I stood in front of these guys and, you look at the blank faces and they're all frustrated and they're getting negative because they can't make any money with the system. And I had this thought in my mind, and it was these magic words, which were, every sale is the same. And I looked at these, I said, don't you guys get it? Every sale is the same. Watch, it's a straight line. And I drew the straight line on the board. And what it really was it was a visual representation of a sale from start to finish. See, what was happening is when most people who, aren't like born closers, right? When they think of selling something, it's almost like there's so many variables and it's sort of like they meander this way and that way. And there's no real sort of a start, a finish, and sort of a system to do it. And once I took it and applied almost a linear concept, linear concepts are the easiest to digest and to learn and to master, right? Once I did that, it was like magical. The doors blew off the company, and next thing I knew, the 12 talentless guys became world-class closers. They started telling their friends, and people started trickling in from the local neighborhoods, and they started pouring in from all over the country. And just like that, as the movie depicts, the firm went from 12 people to 1,000 stockbrokers, and they were all making millions of dollars. So it was just a sort of timing issue, and that it was not just a script, but it became this fully contained system where, it started, it was a book that kept growing and growing and growing, and ultimately became this sort of very, very detailed way that you could take basically any human being, regardless of their age, their race, their creed, their color, their socioeconomic background, their educational status. It didn't matter who they were. You could take any person, put them through the straight line system, they'd become a world-class closer in a matter of a couple of weeks. So that was a very powerful thing. Now, the mistake I made was I didn't combine that with ethics. I was very young at the time, and I lost my ethical way. And, it happens not all at once, but just a little bit at a time. And I took that one step over the ethical line. Then I was doing things right again. But then once you do that, your ethical line moves a bit. Next time you take that step, it's a bit further still. And before you know it, through these tiny, almost imperceptible steps, you're doing things you never thought you'd do. You're associating people you never thought you'd associate with, and it seems perfectly okay. So that's how this firm just spiraled wildly out of control.